Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can continue with our simple Java GUI. We're going to build it so we can add a button for the first time so it can do something. Right now we simply just have this lovely pink or magenta screen that's lovely and bright, but it doesn't do anything. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and make it so we can have a button on here. So we're going to go over to our panel class to do that first. So I go to my panel. I want to go into my import section first. I need to import the button component. So I'm going to go import and then javax.swing.jbutton. Now, I like to do all my imports for demo videos and stuff one line at a time so you can make sure you can see all the pieces we're working with. Of course, there's ways to do shorthand on that, but this is when we're doing demos. I always like to make sure I spell it out explicitly so that you, the viewer, can see exactly what we're doing. Once we have our import done, we need to add a data member for that. So we're going to go ahead up here in our data member section and we'll make a private JButton. And I'm going to give it the really creative name of demo button. I know, I give the best names for everything. So I've got a demo button, and then I've got right here, I'm going to go after my initialization of my data member. I'm going to initialize my next data member right here, and we'll go ahead and this dot, and then demo button equals new. And the parameter we're going to use for a JButton initializer is just a string to initialize that content. So we'll do equals new JButton, and parens, and then quotes, and we're going to say click here. Using exclamation points, it's always fun to have some nice some excitement inside our code, and that's a great thing to do. So I hit save right there. And if I simply just do this, my button exists, it's in memory, but it doesn't show up. So the first thing I have to do is go to my setup panel, and inside setup panel, I need to install the button in my panel itself. We do that by calling the add method on panel that exists because of jpanel. So I do this.add, and I pass it the demo button. And that will put the button on the screen. It doesn't do anything yet, but let's go ahead and see what happens when I do this. So I hit play, and I get this lovely screen right here. I've got my button, my first window. I click here, I can click on my button, and nothing happens. It's boring as toast. I know, we can do better than this. So right now, we simply just installed it. Now, right now, I'm also using the default layout manager, flow layout. Ugh, I hate it, but because we're not talking about layout today, or at least not yet, we're gonna just leave it like this. So it just simply just throws it right there in the middle. If I add more buttons, I'll just put them in left to right and just squish them all into the screen until it wraps around to the next level, which is, well, yeah, but say lovey. So we've got that right there. Let's go ahead and let's make this button do something. So let's go back to code. We're going to go over here, we're going to do the setup listeners. I'm going to show you first the old way of doing the listener, and then we're going to make, for the next version of this, we'll make a new listener for us. So we can show the better way to make listeners for our code. Now, in order to actually make a button do something, we have to put a listener inside it. And that's where we have this lovely method right here, setup listeners. But in order to actually put that listener, we have to do the imports for it as well, because we're using the old-fashioned style first to make that happen. So again, we're going to go up to our import section, and we're going to add a couple imports so we can actually make that happen. So import. And we're going to go java.awt.event.action event and import java.awt.event.action listener. So those are the two listeners, or the two imports we need to make it so we can have a listener function using the old style of code. So we'll go ahead and use these for our first version. Then we're going to go back and we're going to make the better version. We can see how we do that as well. So we go back, like I said, over to the setup listeners method, and it's a lovely giant pile of code we need to do to make this happen. So we're going to write this out in long form, and then we'll format our code to make it look nice and pretty. So we do demo button .add action listener, and then it takes a parens, and we assign inside here. I'm going to put my semicolon right here just to get it started. And so as a parameter, we're going to put a new action listener, and inside that new action listener, we'll do a set of squigs. Inside the squigs, we're going to do public void action performed. Make sure you spell performed right. People mess it up all the time. And inside the parameters for action performed, we'll do an action event and give it the name of click because, well, click makes things a lot of sense. And then inside that, we'll do a set of squigs. And you'll notice right now I have this lovely, huge mega line of code, but it's actually all it needs. So let's take a look at that. So I have demo button.addActionListener. Inside the parens, I have a new action listener, open and close parens, then an open set of squiggles. Inside that set of squigs, I've got public void action performed. Make sure you spell it right. People screw it up all the time, like I just said. And then for a parameter for that, it's an action event. I give it the creative name of click because it's a button, I know. And then I have an open set of squigs, a closed set of squig, closed set of squig, the closing parens, and the semicolon, saying it's all one giant line of code. That's a bit confusing, isn't it? Let's do Command-Shift-F, fix the formatting on that, and wow, look at that. Oh, that looks so much nicer. Yeah, I know. But it's a whole bunch of code we have to type to make that work. And so inside here, this is where we have to make something happen. And so when I do this, I can click the button. I'll change the text of my button. So we'll do demo button, dot set text, and we'll do a parens, and we'll do quotes, and we'll do this really quick. You clicked. So you clicked me. I know this is really amazing. This is only going to be a one-time use button, but still, that's okay. So we hit save. We're going to hit play. My button comes up. Here we are. And when I click on it, you clicked me. This is the most amazing app. If I click it again, it still just sets to you clicked me yet again, over and over and over again. Yeah, I know. Not really the most amazing thing, but it works. So that's what we did. So in order just to, before we do a little more with this, let's go to a quick review and then do it a little bit better. So again, in order to make that happen, what we first had to do is we had to do imports. We had to import java.awt.event.actionEvent and action listener. Those imports are how we actually make a listener happen inside Java using the old school style of doing it. Then in my setup listeners button, I tell the button to add an action listener, which takes a brand new anonymous instance of a class that's an action listener. Because it's an interface, we have to write the method action perform. It's a required method, have to have it or it won't work. And then we simply say inside that squigs for that method what we want the button to do. Let's make this a little better. Let's have it so it can adapt to what's happening, so we can change how many times we've clicked. We can track that information. So we'll go up right here. We'll make a new data member, and we'll have an int private int count. And inside our constructor, we'll initialize the count. We'll do that before here. So count equals 0. And click here. And what we'll do is we'll make count go up by 1, count plus plus, semicolon. And we'll have this, you clicked me, and then plus, and do count, and then a plus, and then some quotes, and inside the quotes, times, exclamation point. And we'll take the exclamation point off of here, change it to a colon, and we've got this amazing app. So let's do this right now. So we click that again, we hit play. My app is loaded right here, and we click on it. You click me 1 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is amazing. I know this will keep you busy for hours on end because you keep on clicking and the number goes up. Oh my gosh, that's great. So we can make it so we can have a button react to a click now by adding a listener to it. But wait, there's more. Let's go ahead and do the better version of doing it. So I'm going to make another button in here. We'll take advantage of using that, and we'll make it so it uses the new advanced way of doing a button listener. So let's go up here. We're going to make another button, and we're going to make it right here. So I'm going to go my button right here, and we'll make a private J button, and we'll make it other button. I know, creative names. And then this dot other button equals new J button. Oops, spell that right. And then parens other click. And to make sure we keep track of that, we'll have a private int other count. And we'll set this dot other count to equal 100. Yeah, sweet. Really cool, right? Yes, I know. So we're going to do that. We're going to do this the better version. So instead of making that whole giant pile of code to make the listener for this, we're going to use the shorthand code for the new button. So I'm going to do other button dot add action listener, same approach to start off. But we're going to use the magic power of a lambda to do this. So we'll say click inside the parens, and then the arrow symbol is going to be directed to other button dot set text. So we are going to set other button dot add action listener, and we're going to use the lambda notation for this. This is amazing. It takes all this work right here of the new action listener, public void action performed, open squiggles, and condenses it down to click is directed to that call. I know, it's amazing. And so we're just going to do set text. You have other count minus minus plus clicks left. So this is going to be amazing. Oh wait, we first have to add it to it. So let's go right here and this dot add, and put other button. Can't forget to add the button to the panel. Oh, that'd be bad. So now we hit play, and because we're using Floa, it's just going to throw it right here, right after the other button, and squish it over a bit. oh no, my clicks are going down, and that's amazing. And so what we can do right here is we have the long form way of doing a listener where we add a new anonymous action listener instance where we have to define the action perform method and then put inside the squigs for that the code we want to have happening every time we click. Or, wait, it's better, we use the lovely lambda notation where we say click is directed to and the code we want to have happen with that. And so that's the best way to do that. And so now we've done it so we made our button so it can do things inside that. Take a look in the next video. We can make it so we can use the spring layout and do even better organization, make it so the button actually goes where we want it to go. Thanks again. Hope this is helpful. Check it out for the next video and have a great day. Cheers. Bye-bye.